welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a few things that have been on my mind and that I've kind of covered in other videos, but I want to just kind of like combine them here. It's about our priorities as mothers. So these 5 priorities are taken from the book A Mother's Rule of Life, which I've mentioned in my Rule of Life video, but I haven't delved deeper into it. And so let me quickly mention those 5 priorities, and it's God first, then ourselves, then our spouse, then our children, and then our duties. And that might be surprising because I think frequently our priorities actually get inverted. And so we're actually like taking care of the chores and the duties in the house, and then the kids, and then, next our spouse, and then last ourselves, and last we're neglecting our relationship with God. We're just so busy. We just think, how am I going to have time for all this? And I can totally relate, and that's where I was for many years, and it's been a journey to get to the point where I am now and continuing to set my priorities in order. And so that's surprising. And so I've been working on this for some time about putting God first, so making sure that no matter what, I'm doing that spiritual reading and mental prayer and taking care of myself, and not in a selfish way. Like, people can get that mixed up, and it's like, oh, well, my needs and what I need. But it's actually just like, for example, getting enough rest, which is hard. You're a mom, and then especially with like little children or a newborn, you just don't always get enough sleep. But, that's just one thing. For me, I take vitamins, and I've noticed a huge difference in that. I used to not think that I would need vitamins, but I was like really deficient in vitamin D, and I started taking fish oil, and I do notice a huge difference and improvement. So that's another one. Recreation time. It's easy to get burnt out as a mom, and it's important to know what is recreation, like what's going to recharge us. And it's tricky because sometimes we end up gravitating towards like quick entertainment, and that actually ends up draining us more, like Facebook and Instagram and social media. And it can be entertaining, and we feel like we're being connected with our friends, but then it can be draining because you're just like scrolling and scrolling, and it's endless. And at least for me, I have found that that's not true recreation for me. That's entertainment, and that's like being distracted. So recreation is things that are going to recharge you. Like, for example, a good way to know is things that you enjoyed as a child, like maybe drawing or writing, exercise, nature. And it doesn't always have that immediate reward. So we might not think like, oh, I don't think that, this is recharging me. This is not my recreation. But I encourage you to just try and stick with it, because like you won't know until you keep going at it and saying, oh yeah, like, having like a different identity than just mom and then these quick escapes, mom and then these quick escapes, like finding that true recreation. And you just have to play around with it, and that can be a whole different video in itself, but that's about recreation. And then, so for example, number 3, our spouse, like meeting his needs, trying to be a better wife, being attentive, being encouraging, like not just being negative and then, being worn out from the day, and then just as soon as he gets home, like telling him all the bad things that went on. And also, that would be a reason to care, like about maybe fixing your hair or makeup, like just being considerate of those things. And then also, if like the love languages or the temperament, like you just can kind of like learn more about your spouse and just to be a better wife. And there are so many books and resources out there, but that's just like a starting point. And then being a better parent, learning how to be the best parent you can. I don't know, like I don't want to go on and on because this video is going to be so long. So to get back to the point, so we have these 5 priorities as mothers, and God first. Then we take care of ourselves so that we can meet the needs of others and the house. So then number 3 is our spouse, number 4 is our children, and number 5 are our daily duties. And I know that this frequently gets inverted. I know, because it's like the house is a mess, the kids, they have those immediate needs. And so the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and so it gets inverted, and we start then neglecting our spouse, neglecting ourselves, neglecting our relationship with God. Okay, so I've been trying to work on this, and what I wanted to mention too that has really been helping me, and actually what's kind of sparked the idea, was that Atomic Habits video that I made recently about making small changes. But also in the book Atomic Habits, he mentions about that you need to do like repeatedly something, and then it's only that practice that's going to make you better at something. So it's not like that then like you're going to spend and devote all this time and then it's just going to come out perfect. Like he gave the example, I think it was of like an experiment with a photography class, and the professor gave 2 assignments. One assignment was to one group of students that their grade counted on just one photo, but it had to just be like the perfect photo. And measure, like, I don't know too much about photography, but like maybe the aperture, color, creativity, I don't know. But then the other group, instead, they were going to be graded based on the quantity of photos, not about the quality at the end. And when they looked at the results of the quality of photos from both groups, the ones that submitted, like their grade was based on quantity over quality, they actually produced the highest quality projects. Hi, Santi. So this sparked the idea in me. And I've talked about then the predominant fault in other videos. And what I thought about is the predominant fault of motherhood. Like me, how can I do better, and what can I work on that I can repeatedly do over and over again so that I can do better? Because this was my mentality, for example, of cooking. Like I never learned to really cook, and it's just been like, something that I do, but I don't feel like confident all the time as much as I would like to. So with cooking, I just really did feel like that is, in terms of my duties, maybe like my predominant fault that I really wanted to tackle. And especially like I had this fear with raw meat, and then like it was just this fear holding me back. And like I've done it. It's not like I don't cook, like I do, but it's just something like a lack of practice. And so long story short, so I was like forcing myself to work on this. And so I just wanted to share this thought with you about, thinking about these 5 priorities that we have, and then what is kind of like the most urgent need to work on, and thinking about how you can put it into practice. So again, like making it into a challenge. So for example, prioritizing, you want to work on your relationship with God. Then I would say, like I was working on this because when we moved, it was like a total reset of me needing to reestablish those good habits of like, I had fallen out of like my spiritual reading and mental prayer time, like, and I was going through like this desolation period. So I put myself through like, I had to wake up every day at 6:30, no matter what, no matter how tired I was. And I was going to be doing my spiritual reading and mental prayer every day at this set time because it was not getting done otherwise. Hold on, be careful. And so that's what happened. But now I was saying like, okay, now what predominant fault do I want to work on? I was thinking was like, now I was being more stressed for the cooking and daily duties aspect. And I said, I really need to start working on this. So then I did a challenge of cooking from scratch. Bye. Cooking from scratch every day, just for like a couple of weeks. But it just felt so good, and it's like so fun. And other ways that you can do it is like working on something with your children, like more quality time, or a challenge to, no scolding for a whole week. Like, I don't know. I've been thinking about doing that. That's why I say that, because I just feel like that's like an automatic, and maybe I need to find like other strategies. And so I've also been starting listening to some audiobooks about it. Same with being a better wife. I was listening to an audiobook about that and trying to put it into practice. So I just kind of wanted to give this suggestion of thinking about these 5 areas, and then thinking about maybe what's the one with the most pressing need, to address or tackle or improve. And then think, okay, what's that predominant fault? And then another 2 productivity books that I've read, there's something called like the 80-20 rule. And it's really like only 20% of our effort is having like the biggest impact. And I could just stay talking all about that. But it's like sometimes these tiny changes have the biggest impact on our results. Oh no, now I got my wires. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up, but I just wanted to share like these thoughts, and I know that this isn't like really a specific, it's kind of like more like a chat video, and so I hope you don't mind this style. I have a few other ones in the works, and it's nice to just have this chat with you, and let me know your thoughts about this, and I'll see you later. Bye.